First steps, take off the sticker.
All right, so today we're gonna do touch IC repair with a total noob. So Zach, tell me, when was the first time you saw the inside of an iPhone?
Today.
Today, nice. And so, you came in, and this, I'm gonna try to make a little video that is kind of addressing the question, can a guy off the street do a touch IC repair? So I just demoed one for you, and you're a smart guy. Do you think you can do it?
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Walk us through what you learned. Step one.
Take off the sticker.
Take off the sticker. Okay, so we're gonna use a little bit of gentle heat. It just kind of like pulls out. It's like a little holster. And that's just to kind of heat it up so that we can not have adhesive residue from the sticker on the actual frame when we go to make our future-proof shield at the end. All right, that's good. And this kind of like slides in here like this.
Okay.
And then it'll kind of merge in there. So how nervous do you feel right now on a scale of 1 to 10? I mean, this is like totally being put on the spot. I mean, like seriously on the spot.
3, 4.
So you're gonna be a PA. Are you gonna do surgery?
That's my goal, but
Is it?
see, I want to be a doctor in the long run.
Yeah.
Not really PA.
What kind of doctor? Why would you want to be a doctor instead of PA? PA is awesome.
I don't know. I gotta, my dad's a PA, so I have to one-up him.
Oh, you got a one-up dad. Gotcha. Well, that's a fair enough reason. All right.
All right.
I mean, this is a little bit like surgery, I think.
Yeah.
I know it's over there somewhere, but I may.
Okay, so let's look under the microscope here, and you found your touch IC number 1. All right, so what are you thinking?
Gotta take that off.
Got to take that off, all right? I think zooming you out a little bit might help you. What are you going to do to protect your Wi-Fi chip?
Effectively disabled it now.
And your
Disabled
man.
but.
All right, so everybody wants to see what you're doing, so we're going to kind of pull you down in view. I'm going to back it out a little bit so that we can just kind of see a little bit better. How does that work for you under the microscope?
Yep, that works.
Good enough?
Yep.
Okay. All right, flux.
Oh yeah, flux.
So we talked about this a little bit ago, and I think that, that people, when you do touch IC, the biggest enemy is just nervousness and worry, and that if you kind of, you've seen it done and it's see one, do one, teach one kind of stuff, and you're gonna put the tweezers down and look for your color change from matte to shiny, just pull the slides out, yep. And then you're going to kind of wait to feel just almost an imperceptible shift so that you know it's liquid, and then you're just going to dive off the diving board and think straight up, and it'll come right up. So go ahead and put heat on it. So red button with your finger. And it might get hot on your hand. If you kind of turn the air to be more towards the top of the board, you'll be able to survive there longer. And it's a cold board, so it'll take a little bit longer to heat. You just kind of want to let it absorb heat for a while before you even think about is it ready. And you kind of look at the top row of the trailer park to look for a color change from shiny, from matte to shiny. There you go. All right, good. All right, how did that feel?
Fine.
All right,
Got it
so
off.
kind of slide it back in there. All right, so one dude is moved up in the trailer park and one dude is nudged, but you didn't pull any pads. That's good. So now you can, we'll correct the trailer park guy in the next step.
All
So
right.
you can go ahead and go for Mason with more flux on Mason, and you can pull that down so we can see it. We'll just move do this. There you go.
Sorry.
All right. So what did it feel like? Could you feel a change when it was ready?
Not really.
Not really?
No, it just kind of came up.
All Alright, so put your flux up around Mason.
Oh, yeah, that's what we're doing next.
Yeah. Yep. So we're going to take that guy up before we worry about anything else. And let's have you use not these, but those tweezers. Those are a little bit more grabby. So try to grab him away from the trailer park, so at the end, like the left side. Yep, that's a good spot. Try to keep your tweezers down, like press down into the board so that you don't get a slide or kind of move the chip. Now you're watching that top injector. Yep. And when it turns shiny. All right, there you go. Good. All right. So my critique of that is that you're grabbing it too hard, which is why on both of them, which is why it kind of like flew away.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a really light on the chip, and then you can just it'll just stick nicely, and you're not like pinching it, because that's what makes play. All right, so phase 2. So let's switch places real quick, and I'm going to correct your trailer park so that way we don't get into trouble. If that I think like moving little dudes around is something that you kind of have to get more of a feel for working with hot air to know how to get him to behave. It's real easy to get those hot and then slide that whole row of those things. So we will help you out here, and then it'll be back to you. So with hot air, he's gonna want to go where he belongs with just a little bit of help. I think they'll straighten themselves out. The main thing here is that you can work with that all day long, and if you put too much heat on it, then you're going to develop the secondary complications of touch IC work on the other side of the board if you work with it for a long time. So a project like that is great for practice on a spare board where you can wipe that whole thing to the side and practice getting them back with hot air or using hot tweezers to place them, things like that. But on a phone that you're trying to fix, it's probably not the place to learn that strategy. All right, back to you. All right, so now what is your plan?
Put some flux down, and then put the Mason and...
You're gonna clean the pads?
Yeah.
Okay. So what kind of iron are you gonna pick?
Leaded.
Leaded? Yep. So flux, leaded, big wide iron, and you're just gonna flatten those pads. And you can turn the board any way you want to make it feel comfortable for your hand. So what are you going to tell your dad that you did today?
I don't know if I'm going to remember what any of this stuff is called.
All right, before you get the chip out, let's go ahead and flatten your pads with the iron.
Okay.
Gene, we can put a 2 on it, maybe even a 3. Okay, so you can grab the board itself with your left hand so that you kind of have some, it feels like a piece of paper. You can turn the board so that you can turn it like this so that it's really well angled for your hand. There you go. And you can do some of them and then like flip it around to do the other side. You just want to sort of press down like you're blotting a wine stain. As long as you have plenty of flux, you'll be fine. All right, stop. So you picked up a dude, so hold on. So let's So on your tweezer tips on the bottom, on your iron tip, you have a tiny component. So let's try and see if you can wipe that off, maybe somewhere over here on the side under the microscope so that you can see that. So let's stick it under the microscope so that we can see your tip and see if you can wipe that off or find it. If not, we'll have to grab one from a donor board. Is that it? Great. All right. So, let me take it with the. Let me actually put him back on there before we go too much. So let's switch again. So we'll put back a little dude for you. So what do you think? Is it harder than it looks, or just like something that's like fine with practice? What do you say?
Harder than it was.
All right. So let's get this back in here, and then try to guess where he came from. My guess is that he comes from right around here. But it's hard to know. It's because both of those look... Is that even a dude? Yeah, it's a dude. Alright, so I'm going to grab another board to just look at where did that guy come from. So I think he might have come from that spot there. Or this spot, so I'm not sure. So grab me another board. Yep. And we'll just kind of compare. This one I'm going to just take the sticker off as is. See how it leaves a little bit of residue like that? Alright, so down here, see there is Cumulus, and under him is a no stuff spot, so nobody was ever there. And then there's these two resistors. You can put that guy back, and that tells us that here this dude goes in that spot. Yep. Okay, so we'll go to hot tweezers, which is the right tool for putting back a guy like this where you have plenty of clearance and nobody's going to be in the way. So I'm going to put down some flux there so that it's sort of fresh, and we're gonna get that guy back down there. All right, close enough. And then the all-time forgiving hot air will make him go back how he's supposed to go. So we'll just put a shot of hot air on him. No, you don't. Stop it. No. Stop that. Behave. Go where you're supposed to go. There you go. Alright. I think he's fine. I would like him to be over one more notch. I don't want to put too much heat on this board though. Alright, that's perfect. Okie dokie. Alright, so you can also use, instead of the larger iron, if it's easier, just put two tips together on the smaller hot tweezers. And you can kind of flatten the pads that way as well. And they don't have to be perfect. And plenty of flux will sort of help them from following the heat and making that icicle effect. So if we added more flux, that would be a little bit better. Okay, so let's have you switch up to Mason and clear those pads, make them flat. So is this like the practice soldering you were doing over to the side?
No, not at all.
So what did you learn from practice soldering? Why don't we switch you back to the larger iron has bigger thermal mass, it delivers more heat, and you won't have it sort of icicle like that. So add plenty of flux. Yep, so you're tinning your tip, wiping it off, good. And now you're just gonna sort of press on those and just sort of watch your tip and watch to make sure it's not touching any other chips. And you can turn the board so that you have like the best angle possible. Yep. Alright, wipe off your tip there. Now I want you to evaluate and tell me if there's anything you need to correct or if you're good to go. You can use a Q-tip with alcohol to sort of clean the area so that you get a good view. So they're tough, you can, rub all that off and just, clean it up with force. All right, tell me your observations.
I'm looking.
I don't see any pulled pads, so that's a
Yeah.
good sign. We can kind of focus you like that a little bit.
I'm not noticing anything off.
Close. Christy,
Yes?
what's wrong with Zach's Touch IC job?
Jessa didn't do it?
No?
It looks like there's another bridge.
You got a bridge in the trailer park. 3 bridges in the trailer
It
park.
looks, in fact,
Oh, yeah,
exactly
it
like
is.
the picture.
That's right.
Yeah.
Memories.
Might even be the same 2 trailers.
Yes. Those guys are great friends. They
The double wide.
yeah, exactly. It's a double. You've made 3 double wides.
4.
4 double wides?
Yeah.
All right. What are you gonna do about that? Oh, you got a
Oh, Valentina,
you
where
got a capacitor hatching another capacitor down
Yeah.
down there.
Yep, that's the one I noticed.
Okay. Let's have you
How do you
start
fix
with the
this?
trailer park ones.
Alright.
All right. So how are you gonna clear that bridge?
Heat?
You're gonna use flux
Mm.
and this guy, and you're gonna, with plenty of flux there, you just touch it right in the middle of the bridge and the solder will leap to the iron. Right, put the 2 tips together. Yep. And just relax and touch. There you go. Touch the other one. Perfect. All right. Okay, let's back up. So how does that feel?
That was pretty easy.
Yes, that was pretty easy. Now this one you're gonna have more trouble with because why?
One's higher up than the other one.
You've got, not all components are created the same, and you might have noticed this on your soldering project, that a grounded A pad that's on ground is connected to the whole board. You know, if you think about a board as like a giant heat sink itself, so a capacitor like that is going to have one of those sides is going to be ground. So ground is going to take an extraordinary amount of heat in order to flow the solder at all. So if you were to try the same strategy here, it would just feel like pushing mud. And then you've got your audio IC chip there in the corner that you don't want to put an iron on top of, you know, so you have a little bit of a clearance problem there as well. So the right strategy here is to sort of turn the board around so that you're going to approach it not from the audio IC side. All right, so we'll find your spot. It's a little bit to the left and up. Yep, there you go. All right, so put it in a way that's comfortable for your hand. Try not to grab the hot tweezers by the hot part. That's another tip.
Yeah, just.
You got a bunch of other fingers, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right, you can attempt to come in from this side and to sort of clear that bridge. We want to have our eyes on you though, so we're gonna position this so that we can see what's going on there. All right, so you can attempt at that angle to just, with plenty of flux, see with the two tweezer tips together if that's enough heat to get you out of that mess. And it may be, but that might require more heat than that. So let's give it a shot. Put this hand like on the board to kind of hold it down, and that will give you more like of a tactile feeling in space of where you're coming in from, and it'll help you steady up a little bit. So look, just sort of rest it there for a second and let the heat do the work. All right, you're not doing bad. Now this time just sort of let it rest there and then pull it away towards you so that it kind of like you're sucking it away, almost like it itself is a siphon. All right, so now let's try to clean the tweezers so that the tweezers are very dry, and if we add a little bit more flux, that strategy seems to be working okay. So just add some more flux to that spot. We're going to kind of move you so we can see a little bit more in the center. There you go. All right, and I'll just try it again with like the tweezers themselves are almost going to act like a hot sponge, and the solder will want to go where the heat is, so it will want to go onto the tweezers. All right, we can't see it. Push it up a little bit. Yep. All right, both tips together and head right to that spot and just sort of rest it there, let the heat do the work, and then pull it away. That might be it. Here's a tip. Make the tweezer tips have a tiny gap like a mouth, and that will kind of make it suck, a tiny gap. There you go. Now pull it away and come over here and wipe them off. It's almost like you can withdraw that amount of solder in a few tries. If you kind of make them like a little alligator mouth, it's going to suck that solder and then wipe it off, and little by little it will clear that bridge. All right, your control is a lot better, so I think you're going to be able to do it. Yep, wiping it off, it always gives you your best chance. Almost. That's good, stop. All right, now, it's still bridged, but now I want you to take advantage of the fact that that's positioned that way, and I want you to come in to the part where it's really sticking it out, and not put your tweezers into the center, just touch the side to leap that solder from the side onto your tweezers. Just kiss it on the side there. Yep, even on the back. It'll move over there if you do that. And see if you can kind of withdraw a little bit of it. You can touch it so that the whole thing heats up, just at that angle. That's good.
Want to go back to the
Yep,
bridge?
you can go back. Almost. There's no like one right way to do it. This is just sort of, you know, experimentally messing around. Yeah, the two tips together I think is a good instinct there because it is delivering more heat. I think trying to press it in the center to sort of force them to be apart is a good instinct. Close. Let's give you a few more tries, and then you can call a consult on bridge removal if you want to get a little help so we can move on. There you go. That's it. Got it. Nice. Now get out of there quick before it comes back. All right. Well done.
All right. Back
Okay.
to this.
Let's switch places. Let me just put some eyes on it to make sure that I'm not missing anything.
All right.
All right. So that's just how it goes. You know, you'll kind of have to struggle like that for a while. But yeah, so if you want to kind of know, like, am I sure that those guys are really cleared and that there's not some micro amount of solder in there, then we can use the multimeter in continuity mode to test, you know, are these guys talking to each other? And they are not, so no bridge. So good job. All right, let's look around here and make sure that we're all good. So we still have no pulled pads. Everything over here looks flat. Everything over here looks flat. No bridges in the trailer park. No missing guys. This little ball there is a little bit high, so we can push him down real quick. So that's pretty minor. That guy's still there. All right, that looks good. So we can really kind of get a good view by sort of cleaning out the flux on here is now kind of like burned and sticky tar. So we want to clear it up. All right, so all of that looks pretty good. If that's okay. Okay, phase 2 complete. All right, switch back. All right, now for phase 3, what are you gonna do?
Put the new ones in.
Yep. So which one are you gonna start with?
One starts with a C.
Your buddy
Cumulus.
Cumulus.
Cumulus. Yeah, there we go.
Do you know anybody with a 6 plus?
Mm-mm. Oh yeah, my girlfriend is 6 plus. Yeah.
Does touch work on it?
Yeah.
For now. So let's put your flux on the board first, and then you'll put the chip on top of the flux. So you remember the orientation?
Yep.
I think sometimes using another set of tweezers in your other hand can help you, kind of position.
Yeah.
So you can, grab those blue ones plus the really skinny ones are a good combination. So it doesn't have to be perfect because he's going to find his own way. You just
Yeah.
want to be able to get the tweezers down in between the chip and the trailer part. All right, good enough. You've got your shields on, so that's good. So now you're going to put the tweezers down like baby gates. And you're going to first try to tack it. So you're going to leave the tweezers there just so that it doesn't fly away from that rough position. Don't touch the top of the chip because that will spooge those balls together. So you're just going to kind of make some baby gates on the edges. And if that's a struggle, you don't really have to do that. You can just do the whole thing by hot air. That looks pretty well positioned. You need to get on the inside of those resistors on the bottom. Alright, and the tweezers are down at the board, then that's good. Then you can go ahead and tack it. And that's in a rough position. Alright, hit the red button with your finger again, it's on cooling. And there you go. So just put some heat on it, leaving the tweezers there for a few more seconds. I don't think it's tacked down yet. Pull the heat away first. Now your tweezers away, get the tweezers out of the picture, and I'll come back in with the heat to try to let him find his own way. And I think you'll find that he'll nudge himself to the left.
Yep.
So we'll just let him try to do that, and hopefully he's not off like by a whole row, and he will do that with some help. There he goes. So keep the heat on there. So he found his own way, and there we go. That's the right position. So that's good. So keep it on there to make sure that all the middle pads are closed for a few more seconds. And that's good. All right. How'd that feel?
Good.
All right. So this kind of slides in there like that. All right. Next, repeat
Mason.
for Mason. So you can put your flux down first. That way you can be ready to go to the board when it's. All right. We're going to pull it down so we can see it on Mason. So you can go over to the Apple Store and just hang out with a sign that says, "Got touch IC disease?" And the whole line of people going in there with their dead 6+ that think no one can fix this can just sort of hand out flyers.
Pretty sure you would get in trouble.
Why? Can you go to the mall and stand outside the Apple Store and hand out flyers for Girl Scout cookies?
Not sure.
Jean, newsflash, this is really important for Girl Scouts. The lady that works at the A+ said, quote, "I love Girl Scout cookies. No one ever comes here to sell them to me. I have to go buy them from somewhere else."
Yeah, so do I.
Whoa, right in your own house, man, that's bad.
Rip-off.
They're a ripoff?
Yes. $4 for a box of cookies.
Really? Wow.
I thought it was $3.50. When did that
It's,
change?
Yeah.
55 cents.
What? The
Yeah.
trip gets 55 cents.
So.
That
just
is a
give me
rip.
55 cents and I'll go buy you a box of cookies at Save a Lot.
How about, yeah, we'll just give you guys $4 and then you've
Yeah.
like, and we'll put in a prize, like a free flashlight that you could earn by selling $10,000 worth of flashlights.
Are there Girl Scout camps that you can take with you? They used to, and that was how the township funded the facility.
Right? I think that's good?
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't see whether it clicked into place
Yeah,
or
it
not.
did, it did.
Okay, perfect. All right. So now we'll kick off the heat shields, and those will be hot. And what do you think is going to happen? Think it's going to work?
Fingers crossed.
All right, so let's find out. So here's the housing on that. And we'll give it a shot. So for testing, you really don't need the housing that much at all, you know. So see if you can deduce how to stick that board in there. So it kind of tips up this way, like under that little ledge. And these guys are the power flex. We'll skip this guy here, he doesn't matter for testing. He's just a cellular antenna. So it's hard to kind of fit him under there. All right, battery connect. So we're not gonna like snap it all the way down. So at the bottom of the phone, let's connect the battery. Like right here. Ding, okay. Now, see what happens. Fire it up. You killed it, it's a dead phone.
There we go.
Apple logo, that's progress. You didn't kill it, it's not a dead phone. Step 1. Phew. think touch is gonna work? What's your percent chance that touch is gonna work on this phone?
5, 10.
5%?
5 or 10, wow!
That's a confidence.
Yeah, exactly, alright, see what happens. You got some touch.
So that
You slid to unlock. Here, let's see.
Where's that going? What? Where does A1 go? A1?
Need some work.
Damn.
You did get some touch though. It's not
What is
completely dead.
A1?
Let's try it with a screen that we know is good.
Going to go in here.
That's the step number 1. Actually, I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure these connections are. Yeah, your connection up here is off, like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's your touch connection here. Now that's a brutal way to fail on touch IC. After all that, and be like, oh yeah, and then I didn't connect the screen. But, all right, let's give you another chance here. We'll, roll the drum again. All right. All right, let's see.
This is stressful.
Huh?
This is stressful.
Stressful? Yeah, it is. It's the worst one I had recently was an iPhone 5S for data recovery that came to me from the UK and had already been to a really well-known data recovery company. I looked at the board, heat all over the board, solder balls popping out of the CPU. Really frustrating that had what had been
Hey.
an otherwise, recoverable phone. And then I did all this rework. It had a cracked power management chip, replaced that, did all kinds of work on the board, started it up. I see the Apple logo. I see it connect to iTunes as normal mode. And I was super excited, and then it blue screened. So it's still kind of in progress. All right, let's see. Well, that's pretty good. Here, I'll let you slide it around and stuff and rejoice in that touch. Let's do passcode on this. Please, please, please. I don't know how many videos I've tried where I don't think of this. Right, 9876. Wait, I think that, is that the
I don't know.
one, 9876?
No.
No, you're on this one. Or I'll do this whole thing on video and then I don't have the passcode. Let's see. Ready? Passcode 080111968. Yay. All right, there you
It
go.
works.
Works.
Cool.
Good job. All right, so we'll test out. So to finish up any touch repair, we will test out the other functions that go with touch that are sort of common failures, like proximity sensor, ambient light sensor, front camera, rear camera function, Wi-Fi function. And if all of those are good, then we'll take the board out, flip it over, and cut out a future-proof shield, solder that on the board, then full reassemble, and it's good to go.
All right.
Nice job. Congratulations. So there we go, YouTube. Man on the street, never seen an iPhone before, just successfully completed Touch IC repair. So I think even more reason that Apple should be doing this themselves, I think. This is not like something that people can't be trained to do.
Right.
What do you think about Touch IC repair?
I don't know. I needed some help there, so.
Need a little bit of help?
Yeah.
That's all right. Well, I think you did 90% of it. We just wanted to help you out. If it was your own phone, I would have let you fuck it up.